It would appear Trump's team is finally setting up in shotgun position for the Hail Mary play by releasing a 234-page affidavit claim, just multiple different claims from different people, and just the state of Michigan, 234 pages of them, I believe 11,000 total. So I just wanted to read a few of them here. It was so hard to find this list of the affidavits. I literally Googled, here, let's see, what was it? Yeah, Giuliani 237-page affidavit is what I Googled, and look at this. It looks like there aren't any great matches for your search. I don't think I've ever had Google tell me that before while showing me, like I've had it tell me that it can't find what I'm searching for, but granted, the number of pages were wrong here. Let's see if that changes it. Well, that certainly did change it. Evidently, you got to be precise with this stuff when you're trying to look up stuff that Trump's team is working on. You got to really get in there deep. And even then, it doesn't list them out anywhere. It was so hard to even find where these came from. But the first one begins with Alexandra Seeley. Being sworn declares under penalty of perjury. So that's a pretty high claim. Like that's a felony, I believe, where you will go to prison for a pretty long time if she is incorrect or lying. I am personally familiar with the facts stated in this affidavit, and if sworn as a witness, am competent to testify to them as well. I'm a registered voter in the state of Michigan. I was a poll challenger for Wayne County, Michigan, which is a place where a lot of this shit's happening at, really, Wayne County. Michigan is just ripe with different types of impropriety, we'll call it. At TCF Center on November 4th, 2020, from 10 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. I challenged 10 votes at table 23. They would not take out the log to record my challenges. I had to write names and ballot numbers on my own. So essentially what they were doing was, you have two challengers there that are both able to declare whether a ballot is challenged or not. But it would appear that the ballot collectors there were just, they just threw her opinion out the door. I asked to make incident reports. They would not allow me and said they will make a note in the computer. They did not and proceeded to keep counting. I was harassed and threatened to be thrown out at multiple times, accused of taking photos when I never did, and told them I would be and told I would be thrown out. No one had a name tag except GOP challengers. Sorry, it's a bit difficult to read this. It's all handwritten. They told everyone to go to lunch if they haven't ate. Only the ballot counters could stay in the room to eat. Challengers and others had to leave the room to eat. Then they would not allow them back in and said that they were at max capacity now after they had already gotten all of the people to leave before. So pretty much they would not let these people back in, these challengers, I guess. After they ejected them, it was half full. They wouldn't let anyone in for almost 2 hours after. So that's a pretty damning claim, because that would essentially nullify, I assume, if it goes right in court, if he has the right case to be made about it, it would nullify the votes that were counted in that time period, because you need to have a general consensus between the people there counting and the challengers and the observers. So that's just one case here. That's the first page of the 234-page affidavit claim that Trump's team had released today. We also have some articles here. Affidavits alleging voter fraud accuse poll workers of wearing Black Lives Matter clothing. I am sure that was the accusation. It is not at all the media constantly spinning around the narrative of what the actual statistics in the case were. The 234 pages of affidavits released by the Trump campaign, which they say show evidence of voter fraud, include complaints that Democrats counting volunteers who wore Black Lives Matter clothing and were verbally aggressive, and one claim that it was odd members of the military voted for Joe Biden, it has been reported. Just the most mundane of all of the 234 pages. No joke. I could have thrown a dart with my eyes blindfolded and hit one of the pages, and it would have had something more damning on it. But of course, they scoured through it, finding just the most minute thing they can find, like little rats they are, the little media rats. Ronna McDaniel, chair of the Republican National Committee, and Kayleigh McEnany, the White House press secretary, have said that they have 500 sworn affidavits alleging 11,000 incidents of various types of voter fraud. So maybe that was 11,000 incidents, but 500 affidavits. The affidavits from GOP poll watchers in Detroit, Michigan, a state won by President-elect Joe Biden, are purported to provide evidence of irregularities in the vote counting process. Donald Trump and his team have yet to accept the results of the election. I don't see how that sentence needed to be thrown in there. Kind of funny. Unbiased news source, I'm sure. Brad Heath, a Reuters reporter in Washington, D.C., said he had examined the 234 pages, a majority of which contained pretty standard election stuff. Yeah, that's all standard. This stuff happens all the time. That's why, wait, it's only in the swing states? Really? In Ohio, the swing state actually swung and knocked that shit out of the park, like +8 or something like that. But then these other swing states just really, they were not with it this time, even though they were last time. Already pushed, contains pretty standard election stuff, already pushed by the Trump campaign, including how poll watchers couldn't get as close as the counters, or to the counters as they wish, or couldn't re-enter the room when they left. Pretty standard election stuff. They just made the observers stand 20 feet away where they couldn't see what they were doing. Standard stuff, wouldn't let them back in, excluding people from entering the premises. Standard stuff. This happens all the time in our elections, right? There's actually a clause in Michigan that states you can deny anyone access that you want, any poll watcher you want, any observer. Hell, you can fill out the ballots you want right there at the table and put them right in there. Standard stuff. You have stories of places in Michigan. I don't get how they can even deny it anymore. When you literally have video evidence of people walking around the outside of a building and putting up poster board all around the windows in Michigan and not letting people in. How is that not a bigger deal? I don't understand that. That's illegal. But no accountability for the other side, I guess. So now we have Kayleigh McEnany reveals more affidavits will be released as she doubles down on election fraud, claiming votes for Trump were changed and 120 years old. Very valid arguments. Let's see what they have to say about this one, Daily Mail, please. Let's get another brain buster in here from the Daily Mail. White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany doubled down on claims of voter fraud in Michigan on Wednesday night as she quoted from 234 pages of affidavits she first revealed Tuesday, despite no actual fraud being described in them. The Trump specialty, baby. He puts his hand up there. He puts up the voter fraud where he's waving it around. Hey, look, voter fraud. Boom! And he hits you with fucking impropriety instead. The Trump specialty, I'm telling you. He's so good at getting the media to just follow along and rag on him about the wrong thing. McEnany appeared on Hannity on Fox News for the second night in a row as she alleged that one of the testimonials claims to have seen ballots that were cast for Trump being switched to Joe Biden. She also alleged that there was evidence of racial abuse towards black Trump supporters in precinct in Wayne County, Michigan. Wayne County brought up again. Must be some shit happening in Wayne County, where Detroit is located. As well as an Asian American man receiving 5 minutes of abuse. Not too sure about that one yet. Let's see. The press secretary added that the Trump campaign will present more affidavits from other states Thursday, including some from Pennsylvania and others from different parts of Michigan, where she claims that 120-year-old voters cast a ballot. Yeah, I'm sure they're still kicking. 120 years old, probably voted George Washington in or something, the usual. The claims have not been verified, and the Election Security Agency at the Department of Homeland Security has also described the 120-year-old voters as a clerical error. So many errors this election. It's crazy, really. Computers, how do you even use them? No one knows. Such weird stuff with these errors and these malfunctions everywhere. But the best part is the clerical error prompted by a computer system needing a placeholder date of birth. It's almost like the date of birth should have been on the ticket so that they could put in the ticket and then, hey, this person's not 120 years old. But no, we need these placeholders. We like to do the old loop around, maybe do a kickflip off the back end of the ballot. I don't know. 120 years old, man, and it's just, we needed a placeholder date of birth. Yeah, okay. I'm sure. And that placeholder date of birth helps Biden every time. Trump didn't ever get a placeholder date of birth that helped him, I assume. McEnany appeared to be speaking in a personal capacity and not as White House press secretary. No shit, because you guys are literally out there throwing around accusations, and not Fox News, conservative media outlet claims or actually shut down Kayleigh McEnany's speech just the other day. I posted a video of this. She was 1 minute 8 seconds into talking, and they're like, I can't in good countenance continue to show you this. Insane. The attorney, a Harvard law graduate who got on a transfer is forbidden under the Hatch Act from political work while on the government payroll. Okay, wise guy. From political work, like, she's providing the affidavits on news sites, literally just showing, here's the evidence that you shut me down from showing just the other day. 234 pages in Wayne County. During her appearance, she did not mention other sworn statements from the affidavits, including a man who said that military ballots... Here it comes again, the same one. They all latch on to just these two little tiny insignificant ones because they like to just dribble in the information like they're feeding you, little bird feed, or spitting it back into your mouth of the American people. It's so disgusting. Because he thought that military were conservative, a woman who thought that President Trump had ordered the count to be stopped, and one who said that vehicles with out-of-state license plates delivered people who were brought in by the DNC to control ballot counting activities. I don't know about any of these claims. I haven't really looked into them, but I can already assume that they pretty much match up to those ones. I'm telling you, if you go on any website right now and look up for these affidavits, these are the claims that they make every time. The military people supporting Trump, just stuff that's a little outlandish so that it can throw some shade over it. Like I said, pull the blinds over the American people's eyes, baby. That's what it's all about. So she says, one of the things that stood out to me today was a pattern and practice in harassment against poll workers. Pretty, standard election stuff happening. Of course, you're legally obligated to send a Republican poll challenger to observe the vote, and what I read was entirely disturbing. One affidavit from a young woman who said she observed ballots with a wrong precinct be duplicated in the correct precinct, and then the old ballots sent back. Normal election stuff. I'm surprised they even put this in here. But get it, all the way at the bottom. You see where it's at? I pretty much had to run like half a mile down the page just to find this. It's even after the two embedded videos, because that's typically when the article ends, is after they show the video. But nope, keeps on going right after there. Hopefully you didn't click off by now. When she began to ask questions, she was told to leave the room. She was called a bigot. She was called the C word as the poll watchers covered her name tag, McEnany claimed. She stated that another involved a woman who said she heard at 11:43 p.m. an election official says that tonight this is our house. Would not surprise me. But it's my house. She claimed a minute later, the same election official started to use racial slurs against Donald Trump supporters. McEnany said that the woman claims she believes that there were votes that were for Donald Trump, but changed to vote for Biden. Would not surprise me whatsoever. So many things across the board. Like, if you were to pull up just a geological map where it just pinpointed all of them, Michigan, entirely just plotted. They would not have an open space on there. Finally, another instance of racial slurs used against an individual, McEnany continued. He was a man of Chinese descent, and he was literally told, "Why are you here? You're not an American." When he said, "I am American," he proceeded to endure 5 minutes of racial and ethnic slurs. This is in one precinct in one county in Wayne County, Michigan. So all of these examples are from the one county, Wayne County, where Detroit's at, everything like that. All of these instances, I believe all 234 of these affidavits, or 234 pages of affidavits are from there. Now we can continue. Let's read a bit more of these actual claims. These are some of the better prepared ones, I would say. Okay, so obviously a number of affidavits claim that GOP poll workers were not permitted access to records that were necessary to properly challenge some ballots. So essentially they were just cutting off the other side's say and whether a ballot was negated or not. David Piontek claims that he saw an unnamed poll worker scan 6 ballots from the problem ballot file, and the computer declared them as an unlisted person. According to Piontek, the worker manually entered the ballots into the system and assigned each voter a fictitious birth date of 1/1/1900. Jeffrey A. Gorman also stated this issue in his affidavit. The fictitious birth date issue has been explained ad nauseum, but these allegations do raise at least the probability that non-registered voters had already been counted. See, that's what I'm talking about. They just cover their tracks with this, we needed the placeholder date. Yeah, that's the 120 years old, ain't it?
We needed the placeholder, which I guess I just don't understand why you would need a placeholder in that situation. Like if the names, or if the birth date's not inputted, then don't accept the ballot. Like should tell the person that, hey, you need the birth date from this person, and their birth date should be on there. So why would you need a placeholder for that? Especially if 120 years old. All right, well, those are just a few examples. Like I said, this is so many different testimonies and stuff. 234 pages. It just keeps on going. And these are all documented. And this is just, I believe, in Michigan, too. So I'm excited to see how it pans out. I'm not sure what to expect anymore, but I just want to know that things were done fairly. And honestly, it already seems like things weren't. I don't know if it could be repaired or not, but I guess we'll see what the future holds. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.